And we're live.
Yay. I need to actually get to the stream. Oop. All right.
I apparently have more skill points. Okay, so at this point, I'm just gonna run around and just look for like objectives.
Is it time to shotgun the story?
It's time to just shotgun various.
Okay.
I don't know. I think some of these are not.
It's not time for the full story mode sprint, but time for clearing objectives.
Pretty much.
No more messing around. Petting cats. Well, no, you're still going to do that.
I'm still going to pet cats, but...
Yeah. No one can stop you. Too strong.
Monkeys. Yes, okay. Skill point. I'm pretty sure Rin was someone we met last stream. Let's see if I can remember who Rin is. I think she's the daughter of the one of the village people, I think. Like I want to say the Enzo Elder, but I don't think that's remotely correct.
I think I just realized why I like Odyssey so much, and why it was so easy for me to finish that as opposed to all their other recent Assassin's Creed games. There are giant open world games like this.
Oh?
I think it's because Odyssey had everything almost everything divided up into like islands.
Yes.
There were like very clear sectors to explore. Whereas here, you know, it's landlocked.
Yeah. I can see that. Which is interesting because it's one of those things where like this game is like by area smaller than Odyssey, yet also feels somewhat larger because it's, you know, not quite as segmented.
Yeah. It's not as clearly delineated.
Do I need to equip an art? Because I have a gun. Oh, yeah, she wants a bow.
I mean, it's all the same thing, right?
It said, like, it wants to see bow skills. So let's... The nicest bow that... The ill-fated string.
This is gonna go great. I wonder how awkward that scene is if you just whiff every shot.
Be smooth with this lady.
It is the one problem I think I have with these really long games, is that I am less likely to fuck around and purposely mess things up, because I'm probably not going to replay a game like this a second time.
Yeah.
I guess I could always keep a save file and just reload, but that is also kind of clunky. Whereas like with a fairly short game, I'll play through it multiple times to like see how things change. But here, it's like I want to know what happens if you fuck that up, but I also don't want to fuck it up myself.
I mean, I imagine based on like a lot of these conversations, it's just like, hey, here's how you deal with it. You don't panic. You just keep trying again, and you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm assuming it probably plays out roughly the same way. Fucking up probably just results in a funny line of dialogue or something. But I'll never know.
Go back to equipping the gun that I had equipped.
That said, I also don't think I would ever replay this particular Assassin's Creed game because of how, like, cutscene heavy the opening is.
Yeah.
Any game that includes a microwave hallway-esque, like, crawl and or walk slowly scene in the opening sequence, I'm probably not going to bother to replay from scratch. Also, can we please stop including microwave hallway segments?
I feel like the winter stuff is probably needs to be winter, so let's not do those.
Alternately, reverse hibernate, sleep until winter.
I mean, it's almost winter anyway. I'm pretty sure the next season is winter, and I'm like 3/4 of the way through this season. I believe this is one of the sets of I assassinated off stream because holy cow, there are so many dudes to stab. Turning that quest line in. I did not do that part. Like, I just did the stabbing of the people. I didn't turn the quests in. Like,
Okay.
there's probably cutscene something. That... Following the stream. It's a stream on a stream.
So I was going to ask, you've played, obviously a ton more of this than I have.
Yes.
Played a lot of this game.
I've played a lot of this game.
How do you feel about, like, the variety when it comes to, like, going to assassinate a dude? Have you been dealing with, like, a lot of interesting locations and, like, situations? Or is it kind of like, go to place, eagle vision, stab guy, leave?
So I think the interest is in the locations, because I do think like the locales are very different. But if you like boil it down, then yes, it's definitely I am running to a place, looking around, figuring out who the guy to stab is, getting on a roof and jumping on them.
I guess I'm wondering if the locations have, like, ever introduced an interesting wrinkle in your assassinate plan.
Not really.
Like, okay. Like, have you ever had to deal with an assassination target who's actually indoors?
Yeah.
Like, not like story mode mission-wise, but I mean, like, you go to a place and it's like, oh, kill these, like, Daisho or whatever. Every one of those I've done, it seems like the dudes I'm looking for are just wandering around outside.
Some of the
like,
Daisho are inside as well.
Okay, because I don't think yet they've made me go indoors to kill one in all the places I've been, which is feels like a waste of the big, like, three-story castle areas.
As someone who has, I think, done, if not all of, I think I haven't done the Oda Keep. I think that's the one castle I haven't done, because at the time it was like, you need to be like 7 levels higher than what you are. I think I could probably do it now, but, Lady, your bangs are insane. I want you to know this. Buying a monk.
Nice.
They do eventually put like the Daisho in, some of them are inside, as well as some of like the assassination targets are like, this person's chilling in a theater. I guess
Okay.
that was kind of the one of the interesting ones as far as the assassination targets was where it was like, yeah, this person's in a theater and they are on stage acting at the moment, and you need to run up and stab them.
Okay, that's cool. Because I guess that's my thing. Is like I know there's a lot of people in this game to assassinate. Obviously, they give you a lot of targets that need to be taken out. But I have encountered a lot of them just kind of out in the open world, like either just kind of wandering in a town or hanging out in a castle, or just like I don't know. I haven't really had to think too much about it when I
Yeah.
encounter them. And I understand that a lot of that is that a lot of these guys are like side questy dudes, and also those side questy dudes are there to like they're the filler, they're the rice
Yes.
of the game. They're the bread, like you. They're there to give you the Assassin's Creed stab a guy experience. They can't all be like super interesting, unique encounters.
Yeah.
Although now that I think about it, it'd be interesting if they did an Assassin's Creed game that was more like focused and cinematic, and you had like, oh, kill these like 13 dudes, and they were all like like almost a level-based Assassin's Creed game. Like really go full retro with it. Make it like an old Hitman or something, you know?
That would be cool.
Oh man, what if they did that with like the modern day Assassin's Creed game? It was like, no, modern day Assassin's Creed just plays like Hitman.
Honestly, like that makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense, but it is also one of those things where I feel like people would riot if you put out an Assassin's Creed game that did not play like Assassin's Creed.
I mean, they did it with Origins and nobody rioted.
I mean, you're not wrong, I guess. Though part of me does still wish that modern day Assassin's Creed was just Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
I tried to replay Watch Dogs Legion recently because I was looking at it and I was like, this game has a lot of stuff I really like. I should love this game. Why didn't I? And I started up, and I heard that goddamn robot assistant guy talking in your ear, and I was like, oh, now I remember why I hated this game.
I feel like I enjoyed Watch Dogs Legion, but I feel like it was definitely, oh, this is an early game for this generation type deal, or it's like
I should play it again and like turn off the dialogue. Like just crank all voice volume to nothing and see if I like it better when I don't have to listen to that stupid robot.
Honestly, that probably a decent course of action.
Take the Borderlands 3 route. Install the mod that removes dialogue from the game. I have heard people claim that Borderlands 3 is actually really good if you cut out all the dialogue. I will never know.
To be honest, I'm not fully sure why this is a mission, but you know, appease the Shrine Maiden.
Yeah.
Random man.
Hello there, Japanese JD Vance. He just looks like all those memes.
He kind of does.
では何故声をかけた？何が狙いじゃ？
狙い？別に狙いなどない。だがお主は手強い武者を狙って追いかけとるんじゃろ。
私も狙いなどない。ただ神仏に答えを求めるたわけの一人じゃ。
なるほど。わしを信用せんというわ。
You just randomly showed up. Why would I trust you?
それは賢明じゃ。ここ大和では。
That's.
I would point out, randomly showed up with, like, information about what your plans are.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, shh.
Everything is lies, especially the lies. The lies are lies. That's how you know the lies are the truth.
されど大名は大概信用ならん。
そう、それでいい。誰も信用するな。
I mean, to be fair, I can see situations where a lie is a lie. I can think of one right off the top of my head. Because, you know, the whole what if I'm a spy thing.
What if I'm a
Still,
spy?
maybe the best line in Metal Gear. Look, if fucking Ocelot said, "What if I'm a spy?" and then like somebody clapped a director's card and credits rolled on Metal Gear as a franchise, I'd be like, "Yeah, worth it. That was a good setup for a punchline." Fucking God knows how many games of this dude being a fucking septuple agent. Did that guy just disappear?
He did.
Okay.
So I'm just... I don't have any scouts. That would be a problem. So I'm just gonna go here.
Now I'm wondering if the implication was that guy was a spirit.
I imagine the
like,
implication is he's a spirit, but
I don't know. I kind of like it better if he's just hiding behind a bush, like 10 feet away.
that would be
He's like,
funny.
"Oh, thank God, I managed to get away." There's like a Batman comic where, like, fucking Gordon does the whole thing where he like says something, and then oh, I think it's because like Superman is like impersonating Batman at the time because Batman's missing and he's trying to keep anybody from knowing it. So he like dresses up as Batman and tries to do his thing. And he goes and does the thing where he sneaks into Commissioner Gordon's office to talk to him. And then Commissioner Gordon like tells him what he needs to know, lights his pipe, turns around, and he's just like, "You're still there." And Batman's like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I be? Like, I'm not just gonna leave in the middle of a conversation. Make me look like an asshole." Like, disappearing mid-conversation is a cool trope when it works, but it's really funny when it doesn't. That guy is wide. That dude looks like a Warcraft 3 character.
A little bit.
Also, really appreciate Naoe's just skeptical glare.
I have bad news if you're trying to escape things. There's a large black man here to see you.
And a stabby, angry little girl.
I got this persimmon from Ghost Man. I'm deathly allergic to persimmons.
純慶様どうされましたか。
昨晩顔のない男が夢に現れ柿を差し出してきたのじゃ。敵か味方かは分からぬ。なれど夢をないがしろにはできぬ。お主には役目があるはず。
How's it?
わしに
Woof.
歯向かい
How's it going?
報いを受けようぞ。その娘もじゃ。
承知しておりま
It
す。
is.
わしは条件。
Sometimes that's
東
best
大
as you
寺
can
の
get.
様子の差配を行う法教じゃ。失礼じゃが、こたびは何用で参られた。純慶様のお心を晴らすためにも伺いたい。大物主様に捧げ物をするため参りました。偉人が我らの神社に参拝よ。この地へ来てまだ間もないゆえ、各地の風習を学びたい。
I'm a newcomer to this land that I've been in for a year and a half. I don't know how long I've been a samurai here.
御霊が荒ぶっておっては大和に安寧は訪れん。
僭越ながら悪霊を退治することで事が収まりなど。
荒ぶる御霊も厄介だが、問題を生んでいる真の根源は秋山家の綾子殿じゃ。
秋山家が和睦の申し入れを断れば滅ぼすしかあるまい。
純慶様は寛大にも秋山家に和平の使者を使わされたのだ。しかしその使者は拉致されたか、あるいはもっとひどい目に。
では死者を我らが探してみましょう。
ああ、そうしてもらえぬか。さて、わしはもう疲れた。
I was racing to find the mute button before I sneezed. All right.
Yeah.
Where was I?
それから平穏も。
安家、そなたの武勇は伝え聞いておる。東大寺までわしを訪ねてくれれば嬉しく思うぞ。その従者も一緒で構わぬ。そう
No, apparently he did serve Nobunaga for roughly a year before Nobunaga's death. So how? Wait, hold on. Is what's his face? It's fucking still alive, Mitsuhide or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, well then it has been less than 11 days since.
Yes.
盗み聞きしとったのか。
仕方なかろう。
I think this is the weirdest part of this game, is that it is explicitly set in a time period that is supposed to only be like 11 days, but they've got a whole season-changing system.
You're not wrong. Look at that guy just peeping.
Like, I really thought they were going to go a different route with this. Man, that guy's weird. I really thought they were going to go a different route with this. Where, like, because there's a bunch of, like, rumors and legends that after Mitsuhide was, like, deposed, that he actually escaped with his life and, like, essentially went into hiding and became a monk. And I thought a lot of the game was going to take place in that time period, and that the goal was going to be hunting down Mitsuhide after he, like, faked his own death. But instead it's this, which is really weird.
I wonder
Like,
how.
just walk up behind you again, like... Like, you moved like 15 feet away to have a private conversation and didn't pay attention, he just walked up to you again.
Yeah.
You guys are bad assassins.
You know.
Technically not assassins.
No, they.
That's- I guess-
Well, she's an assassin.
She's definitely an assassin. Also, when you get close enough to somebody with Yasuke, there's an assassinate button, so I think by definition, assassin.
Yeah, I just meant like weird Assassin's Creed order type deal.
Yeah, I don't think he's fully on board with... Well, I don't know, they did do the whole weird tea ceremony where they drank a paper. They did not cut off their fingers, but I mean, nobody does that anymore. Those for losers anyways.
That's my favorite. That's still one of my favorite stupid things in terms of just like the whole reason why people cut off their fingers was because one guy was a dummy and cut his finger off by accident, and then people for like 1,000 years afterwards were like, oh, there must be some deeper meaning to this.
I mean, wasn't there I mean, I feel like in the original games, didn't they imply that you had to lose that finger to, like, make the hidden blade work properly or something?
Yeah.
Just, like, was it just positioning-wise? It was like, oh, you have to lose that finger because that's where the blade comes out, essentially.
Pretty much. And then, it took until Assassin's Creed 2 where Leonardo da Vinci was like, actually, psych, you don't have to lose a finger.
Was it Valhalla where the character just puts it on over wrist instead of
Yes.
finger? And it's like, hey, check this out. I like to imagine just a bunch of, like, new recruit assassins who just lost their fingers watching that happen and just being like, motherfucker.
No ringing the bells.
No bells, only gunshots.
That dude had a lot of HP.
I think I need to upgrade my weapon at some point. I'm a little behind on... Oh
It was
boy.
just extremely funny to me that that guy was shot in the back, fell off a ladder, and then stood there and took like 5 full combos without moving.
Also, I like how this fight turned into a ladder match. Fishing around under the ring, pulling out a musket.
That would be fun.
People should make more interesting wrestling games. Like, stop making wrestling games that happen entirely within the ring. We talked before, but where's my, like, Lucha Underground Mass Effect game?
Yeah.
Make some like Santo games. That's the name of like the
Yeah, El
the Mexican
Santo,
wrestler
who was in
fights
like
the vampires, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta wrestle some vampires, man.
Mm-hmm. Has anyone ever slayed a vampire by putting him through a table? And like a piece of the table goes through his heart in the process?
Oh my
Because
god.
that would be great.
That's amazing. That sounds like a comic book or something that should happen. Is just
Like, let's be realistic. A power bomb or a choke slam on a vampire would be a very good way to take him out, as long as you had like a convenient sharp piece of wood nearby.
yeah.
Like, flip the table over and then power bomb the vampire. Get like a 4-man team, flip a table, and then power bomb a vampire onto each leg of the table.
Also, obligatory VGCW reference here.
You're not. Yeah, WrestleMania was a good time. I still go back and listen to that fucking remix of like Bloody Tears with Tonight is the Night sometimes.
I should do that.
It's a good song.
I haven't watched anything VGCW related in quite some time.
It's actually, I think now, a lot harder to find some of that stuff. Like, last time I looked, I could not find it on YouTube.
Yeah, a lot of
made
that
me very sad.
was just Twitch archives, and that stuff's been fucked with many times over now.
Yeah. And I think some of the channels that archived that on YouTube have gone down, so... Those were the days.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ghost Problems. Ow. feel like I missed where
yeah,
the,
like we
the
have
man ringing the bell was, and it's very unfortunate.
we have Guacamelee as far as like interesting wrestling game goes. Wrestling game Metroidvania, good idea, but like, where's my Guacamelee Lament of Innocence? A lot of blood came out of that man for a combo that was blocked 100% by his armor. It is fine. I just find it silly. Then I also find it silly that despite you being completely decked out head to toe in armor, you don't have an armor bar.
You know, that is interesting and weird.
Also, this Guardian guy, not seen a lot of armor on his body for having, like, 5 armor bars. You cannot loot while enemies are nearby. Okay, just checking. Is the messenger a code name for a guy?
I don't know.
Because otherwise, why would you sign a letter from the messenger? Like, of course, yeah, by definition, that's what you are.
Well, maybe it's, you know, the person sending the message is also the person delivering the message.
Yeah, I guess. But in that case, if you're delivering the message, like, yourself, just tell the guy.
Okay, what? Oh, okay, no, it is...
Okay. I was worried that you just opened up a whole new... I mean, you did technically find a new ring, but...
But also the messenger is, in fact, a man. There's a man named the messenger.
Okay. Alright. I mean, you opened up a new ring, but it's a ring that's already got 2 guys down.
Yeah. I had stumbled across these two... these two, and then they actually pointed me to this man. But to be honest, he's a monk traveling and he meditates at temples at night is not a very good set of clues to where this man is. I'm gonna be super real. Now let's actually just do a... Let's do a story mission. Those are fun. Makasa. Don't have it. I don't have any scouts, and also I need to get out of this place so that I can fast travel. Come on, Yasuke. You can do it. Okay. Now we fast travel. Oh wait, can't fast travel in water either, because... Now we fast travel. believe this should change the season. Hey, it's winter. Also fairly certain I'm no longer wanted. Of scouts, so I can be lazy. Where's this person? You know what? I was gonna be Yasuke, but too much climbing. I'm just gonna go switch, and so I can climb.
いつ敵が来るかわからんのに、ようこやつ
Are any of you people's
私の視
cousins?
覚などでは勘違いさせるな。恩義に危険が迫っております。オバマで起きたことは聞いておる。されど大方様は案ずることはないと仰せだ。見ての通り、我らはゆるりと過ごしておる。相手にお心当たりはわからぬが、いずれ捕まるであろう。ここには守ってくれる万兵もおる。客人が参ったようです。またこの調べ状。確かに聞こう。
That was extraordinarily silly. We have guards to keep us safe, and then you just hear screaming in the background.
I was also gonna say it's funny to be like, oh, we have the guards to keep us safe, says woman standing in the room with an assassin. It's like, let's be real, if you are within talking distance to Naue, your guards have already messed up.
Also, to be fair, I didn't even see any guards on my way into talking to that person, so, you know.
Also, I know you have been, obviously, still using the throw knife strategy a lot, but I was going to ask if your preferred weapons with either of the characters have changed over time.
I use more of the Kusarigama as now as well. Like, I switched her secondary weapon from the katana to that, just mostly because I got the ability that it's the you throw it out and assassinate someone from a distance. But yeah, for the most part, I'm still just... I do really like the Naginata for Yasuke.
It's a lot of dudes.
A little bit. I will say one funny thing, because I do have the thing equipped that's like when you do a weak point attack, other enemies stagger. If you do that where people are, you get a lot of notifications saying, hey, stop attacking civilians, which is very funny to me. Hey, how's it going? Tell me more about these guards.
これは何と申すべきか。礼は無用。琵琶の調べ、誰が奏でておるのじゃ。大方様が
Got attacked by like 20 guys.
と申されておる。
So look at how much blood I am covered in. Jesus Christ.
調べの出元を探せと仰せじゃ。大方様はお疲れであられる。お話はこれまで。
The elder is tired and thinks you are stinky with the amount of blood you are covered in. It's probably somewhere over here. Alright, good job, guys. Talk to you guys later. I'm gonna be honest, that fence looks like the most climbable thing in the world, and the fact that I cannot climb it is kind of nuts. I don't even want to hear about, like, oh, but there are spikes on the top, because there's area enough for Naue to literally just stand in between the spikes. Ah. Little fly buzzing, trying to buzz up my nose for some reason.
Random aside, I just saw the news that apparently Discord is going public and also has a new CFO. Oh, wait, no.
CEO.
Discord's new CEO is Blizzard Activision's former CFO.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
It's not.
Up. The Biwa in Niwa remains mainly on their Niwas.
それは結構。わしは弦を好むが、笛も悪くはない。どうじゃ、琵琶にも興味を持ったか？
琵琶を習いに来たわけでは、ある調べを探しておるのです。悲しくも心慰めてくれる音曲です。
音曲に答えられぬ問いはない。言葉を介さずとも物語を紡ぐ。聞くがよい。街の風景、草の香り、愛しき者たちとのひととき。
Smell of grass in winter.
幸せな一日。一方こちらには独特な趣が。
I mean, it's still there.
叶わぬものを夢見る哀愁。遠き過去の思い出。
聞き覚えがある。この調べです。
ほう。これは弟子の一人が作った曲じゃ。
名は
武田元明、得難き逸材よ。武田家の失われた栄華とありし日の夢に捧げられた曲じゃ。
昔を懐かしむ調べ。その方はまたこちらに。
いや、かつてのあやつは息子同然であったが、
Started to deal with dirty deeds done dirt cheap.
人々は奴らに散々苦しめられてきた。力を貸してはくれぬか。若さを救ってくれ。
救う？
この海賊どもを見つけ、成敗するのじゃ。すべて片付いた暁には。
This one guy on the Bakufu circle has a lot of side missions, or not side missions because they're all main missions. Has a lot of missions attached to him.
武田元明、庭家とどのような因縁？
Oh, never mind. That's just another circle of dudes. God damn it.
More dude circles. Pirate Alliance.
So many dudes.
Little Kappa is my rap name.
Rugamesh. It's not even that funny, but I cracked myself up with it anyway. Where is it? I don't even see a lake in this region. I mean, I see lakes, but I don't see which one they're specifically referring to. Oh wait, Lake Sugetsu. Haruga Bay, there it is. And there's apparently a horse archery there that I did not do yet. But we'll deal with that later.
I will say, again, still a big fan of the scout system. I think that's a fairly smart way to handle a lot of these objectives.
Yeah.
Where it's like, use a scout to get an exact location if you want.
I also enjoy that, like, with the amount of exploring that I've done, like, there's a lot of places where it's like, oh, it's in this specific place, and then I just have a little marker on the map that is called that place. So I was like, well, you know, it's probably over there. I'm gonna touch your boat.
Why would you do that?
Because I need to get over there, and it's the quickest way.
Monster.
I'm the video game protagonist. I gotta go. It's cold. I don't want to swim.
You don't have, like, Leonardo da Vinci on hand to make you, like, a collapsible pocket boat you can just throw down in the water.
I don't.
Because if he was here, he'd do that.
I need the person from Rise of the Ronin who invents a camera like 300 years before cameras happen.
All right, so hear me out. I know they've got the Yakuza games that are just set in the past.
Yes.
When are they going to make a Yakuza game where you actually straight up time travel?
A great question. Don't have an answer for, but it does seem
Also, which
like...
Yakuza protagonist do you put in the game where you time travel? So I feel like Majima's the easy answer.
Yeah.
Because I think Majima has cemented himself as the Yakuza guy who gets into the wackiest situations.
Like becoming a pirate.
Yes. So I'm wondering, do you keep that series going with just Majima in increasingly weird situations, or do you give each different Yakuza protagonist, like, their niche?
I mean, I was going to say that, like, there's been a weirdly high amount of, like, actual aliens in Yakuza games as of late.
So I was literally about to say, like, if I'm, like, just off the top of my head, rolling through old Yakuza protagonists, if I had to pick someone for the space game, it would be Tanimura.
Space
I think
Cop Tanimura.
Space Cop Tanimura would rock, I think. I'm not sure where you send Akiyama, because Kiryu basically became James Bond for a game. So I
Yeah.
feel like doing another spy game would be weird. But if I did pick someone else to be a spy, Akiyama.
So I did in my head, and then they were like, "Oh, we're probably not going to do that," because I guess it's light spoilers for Infinite Wealth, but they do talk about like in between 6 and 8, Akiyama is kind of not globe-trotting, but like Southeast Asia trotting and like being a businessman trying to figure out
Okay.
what happened to Kiryu. And I thought that would have been a fun idea for like a side game of like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who bought the world or something.
That's a good name for it, too.
I kind of thought they were going to keep that title set up, but then the next one was just Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and I went, well, okay, I guess we're not keeping that title set up. Oh, wait.
Like, I feel like... I don't know, I'm thinking about protagonists and where you could put them now. Like, I feel like Saejima is the most suited to time traveling back to the past. Like, if you just dropped Saejima in, like, the Warring States era, he'd be a samurai in 5 seconds, no problem. He'd be down with that.
He would.
But I feel like, because that's the case, it's almost too easy to drop him back in time. Then again, I mean, Majima was definitely the right choice to be a pirate. Everyone could have seen that coming a mile away.
Even
Like,
Majima, he only has one eye.
They didn't because it's a weird fucking announcement, but if you announce there's going to be a Yakuza game where one of the characters becomes a pirate, I feel like Majima would have been choice number one on most people's lips.
It's still very funny to me, like the part where like all the Pirate Yakuza stuff got leaked on like 4chan or something, and then nobody just believed it because it was too weird. And then it's like, oh, by the way,
I mean, it's pretty fucking weird.
By the way, let me tell you about Madlantis.
I want to point out, like, it was considered too weird for a game that already, like, switched genres to be an RPG and also had, like, a zombie spin-off.
You know?
And the pirate game was still like, I don't know, that sounds pretty fucking dumb. I mean, he just gets amnesia, suddenly is able to speak English, and then becomes a pirate?
I love how
Fights Samoa Joe?
Fights Samoa Joe. I love how they handle the English thing, where there's just a part where,
yeah,
like he just turns around and faces the camera and says, "Hey, there was a language problem. We're just gonna skip all that so that we can tell this story."
It really ruined the pacing. Which I also think is hilarious because now Majima can just speak English. Presuming he didn't get like spoilers for the end of Pirate Yakuza here, if you don't mind. At the end of the game, does he get hit again and get amnesia and then wake up and he's Majima again? Or
no?
Okay, does he ever get his memory back?
Yes.
Okay, I assumed.
And
I mean, alternately, you just keep the pirate theme going, and the next game is like Space Pirate Majima. He uses the funds from Atlantis to strap rockets to the bottom of his pirate ship, and they fly into space.
That'd be fun. I was gonna say that, like, I was definitely when it's like, and he's got amnesia and he's a pirate. I was like, this is. I think they handled it.
You weren't a fan of the amnesia plot?
No, but they handled it in a way that I thought was extremely clever. Who's mad at me and can they stop? The answer is yes, because I'm just going to stab them.
Let's see, we had Majima become a pirate. And I feel like, I guess Ichiban is the logical protagonist to go with if you were like going to isekai a Yakuza protagonist, like get stuck in a fantasy world. But again, I feel like it's too easy because he would like that too much. Like, I feel like you have to have them play against type at least a little bit. Or at least that's how I feel in my heart. But then again, Majima becoming a pirate is like 1-to-1.
Got the eye patch and
Maybe,
everything.
maybe you do just go with the obvious choices. Alright, if you could pick a Yakuza protagonist and, like, a setting or genre or something that is unusual for the Yakuza series, what's your dream matchup?
Hmm. I don't know, like, I guess I feel like the one thing is just like there's a lot of ideas that I'm thinking of, and it's like, well, that kind of already happens. Like, because I was thinking of like political thriller, but to a certain extent, that's Lost Judgment. Takes a detour into political thriller, which is kind of entertaining. The Saijima survival horror game, and it's just that fucking Resident Evil 7 DLC where you powerbomb the zombies.
Yeah, alright, I'll take that.
That make me the Noodle Man.
駿河の庭家も襲われたのです。その時聞こえた琵琶の音についてご家中に知る方が、そして西福寺に事の次第を知る者がいると聞き、すぐに向かいました。
I do appreciate that guy making fun of all the dumb code names.
同じ調べを引いてみせました。そしてその音曲を他に知るのは武田元明のみである。
なるほど。すべてを取り戻すつもりか。後瀬山城、そして若さを。武田が力を取り戻しているらしい。
故にこの機に乗じて庭家を滅ぼそうとしておるのでしょう。
あやつが再び襲ってくるのをただ待つわけにはいかぬ。我が兵を送り込むとしよう。それでは城が手薄になるのでは。
元明なる者には尋ねたきことが。どうかここは我らにお任せください。
よかろう。ひそやかに取り行うのだぞ。
I trust that this will be done with discretion, extremely conspicuous man.
武田元明は武家屋敷におる。ことが済んだらお主を探すとしよう。
かような場所をそうやすやすと登るものではなかろう。
鍛錬しておれば登れるぞ。武田元明、力ある者の手によって
Sick burns.
途端の苦しみを味わい、血に濡れた復讐の道を歩む者。
お主は違う道を選んだ。
とにかく元明を追う。
Man, this guy got real mad that his clan got destroyed, and then he went on a path of revenge.
Let's not dwell on that.
Let's not dwell on that.
人売りでもある。わらべに加えその父や母、牛馬のごとく船に乗せられ運ばれるのだ。
サメ吉も必ず撃つ。だがまずは武田元明だ。この界隈におるのは分かっとる。
Also, again, I just want to. Oh, wait. That asshole.
Yasuke's like, I'm gonna go get that guy. Which, to be fair, you know.
All right, so this is the thing I was thinking, is I really appreciate the convenience of the way the camera worked there. Because Naue and Yasuke are both standing in a very high place to look cool and monologue there. Or I guess, what's the term for like a two-person monologue? Duologue?
Dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah. They were standing there talking cool about all the shit they were gonna do. But, like, the camera did not show how Yasuke gets down, which is probably just awkward climbing.
Yeah. This man is relating to,
That man is losing a lot of HP very quickly. I'm not sure what his plan was, but it doesn't seem to be working.
I like that he had to die in the cutscene so that way he doesn't lose his arms.
その刀を貴様に持たせたのは誰じゃ。二度も問わせるな。後悔するぞ。わしが怯えるとでも、この喉元にはさらに鋭き刃が当てられておる。決して口を割らぬようにとな。他のことなら何だって答えてやる。例えば、わしの好きな酒。それに貴様のようなやつが米南国で売れるのかもな。くそ！なぜサメ吉が奴の名を。
Meanwhile,
I feel
still
like
up
that
here.
guy's logic. I feel like that guy's logic was flawed in the whole. Oh, scarier people have threatened me, and they want me to stay silent. And it's like, yeah, but I'm here right now with a sword. Like, yeah, you've been threatened by other people, but I'm threatening you right now at this exact moment, and I'm in a position to carry out said threat.
Hey, it's a sweet fox mask.
影のもと、慣れは佇む光明の中。わだかまりしは、春きき昔、 めでたきところ思いはさらず夢に見ゆ古き城いずくの日にぞまた見えん
Your song sucks.
ここまでに岩のお師匠も嘆かれよう。
血を流すことのみが忍びのたしなみかと思うたが琵琶に感じ入ることもあるのだな我が死に会うたかまことよき死ではあるが悲しいかな我らの志は相入れぬ
罪なき者の命を奪うことのどこが志だ。
物事には裏と表があるそれを分かって言うておるのか
どちらであろうとお前の側にはつかん。
そなた道を誤った
お前こそ罪なき者を
There are
殺
two
め
sides to every
貧しき者
tale.
をむさぼり
You ever
食っ
looked
た
at it from the perspective of the people who shot you and left you for dead? Maybe they had good reasons.
No.
武田の一族が後瀬山城を追われた時我らに味方する者がいたとでも思うておるのかわしは城が焼け落ちてゆき愛しき者の目から光が消え屍となるのを見たのだその時のうのうと過ごしておったのはどやつだ過去に与えられざる慈悲が今さら与えられようものか世に正しき義があるのならばそれは我らの果たす義のみ
無念を晴らさんとする思いはわかる。されど憎しみによって義は
Ignore the fact that I've killed half of the people who who killed my dad.
憎しみから来るものではなく世を正すためさあ己の憎しみを見せてみよ
Ow.
I feel like it's funny that he ended that pre-fight thing with like, I'm not fighting out of hatred, I'm fighting to make things right. And then his first in-battle line of dialogue is,
Show me your hatred.
この世を正してみせる
Knife throw is not working as well as I would hope against this. Very unfortunate for me.
ここで果てるしかここで果てる宿命ならば
I don't think you're gonna take me with you. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, dude.
I really appreciate that about 50% of that fight was him being repeatedly stabbed in the collarbones. It's a very effective move, don't get me wrong. But I like how many times it happened back to back.
Everything I did for you, Castle. I love you, House.
ではなぜあんな奴らと名を連ねておったのは人殺しに盗っ人に人売りばかり。
Yeah, I feel like we're more similar than you think. Kind of fell apart just a little
A little
bit.
bit.
琵琶を我が死に返してもらえぬかあの歌のみを道連れにわしは死での旅路を行くことにしよう直江奴は
武田元明は死んだ。
元明なりに若さを思ってはいた。根っからの悪人
He was just 95% evil.
わしは知らなんだわ。悪人にも程度があったとはな。お主らの見事な働き、大義であった。これで若さは平穏に一歩近づいたことであろう。
I had a train of thought.
礼
I
にも
forgot.
手が届きそうじゃ。
サメ吉の方はどうなった？
ご無礼ながら
Oh, has there ever been like a successful usage of the "actually we're more alike than you think" ha 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 type deal?
Not that I can think of.
Because I feel like every time it comes up, it's just like, man, you're being real dumb villain.
Or yeah, I'm still gonna kill you.
Yeah.
なれど今はそれがし一人で向き合わねばならんのだ。
オバマなら船が盛んに出入りしとる。そこでそやつの件を探ってみよう。助けがいるときは遠慮するな。
I got a lot of quests to do. Holy shit, this is a big game. Oh, talking. Okay, that must be what that one mission, like because there's all those food vendors or whatever. Go talk to the Noodle Man. Since he's on the way to the Askate quest.
Soこのお侍。
久方ぶりだな、本。
ああ。なあ、少しいいか。頼みたいことがある。
どうした？
この世は知らんことばかりだ。影を継いでからずっとうどんを売ってきたが、それ以外のことは何も知らん。このままでいいのか。そろそろ新しいことに挑戦してみるべきか。
さまざまな食べ物を作ってみるのは良きことであろう。
味も深まるかもな。うどん屋が忙しくて、わしには旅をする暇もない。だがお前は各地を旅しておる。これを味わってみたい具材の一覧だ。手に入れてきてくれんか。
探してみよう。自分で少し食べてしまうやもしれぬがな。
待っておるぞ。
4 of 16.
Obamaの港。デュアルテへの手がかりがあるとよいが、覚悟しておれ。必ずや追い詰め、そっくび叩き落としてくれる。合図とな。 黒船は合図を待っておるのか。使わせてもらおう。合図のかがり火の一つだな。
One over there. What's up? I'm Yasuke.
お主は
それがしも安土で信長様にお仕えしておったのだ。お主が覚えておらずともこちらはよう覚えとるぞ。
この風景ではな。
That guy doesn't look that elderly.
He really doesn't.
ここ小浜では世にもおぞましき商いが行われておる。人の道を
He does just kind of look like a normal, like
それを正しに
30, mid 30s, late, early 40s year old man.
こちらも聞いておる。とりわけあの黒船の一団はな。
それがしはかような南蛮船でこの地に参った。
Alright, cool. Thanks, buddy. Got real foggy.
あと一つ待っておれ。デュアルテ・デメロ。
This third. Eat. No. The answer to that question is no. On, let's stop. Need goodbye.
また今度参るとしよう。
I probably should have sold, like, the valuable. That, and I don't want to go through the talking again.
これで最後だ。良きところを見つけて待とう。 デュアルテめ、逃しはせぬ。
Whoa.
酔ったな。待ちわびたぞ、デュアルテ。デュアルテはここにおらぬか。奴の船を探さねば。
Hello. Like to meet my friend, this Naginata that I got from the battle pass.
Take down this level 50 Portuguese sailor.
On the day the rain turned to snow. I like that these people have two swords. Or no, they have a sword and a gun, never mind. They're like a dragon Ishining it over here. Boatman. Jazz Boatman.
It's the Castlevania one. It'll take you to someplace interesting.
What if Jazz Boatman and the Castlevania Boatman switched places for a day? That would be fun.
No, I just stumbled across a fucking trailer for something I did not know existed. Apparently they're making an XCOM-style Star Wars game.
Yeah. Like
I did not know about that.
Rogue Company or something, I think?
Zero Company.
Zero Company. I mean, the trailer came out like 2 days ago, so... Rogue Company is a thing, but it's not that thing, I think.
I feel like Rogue Company is a thing, but I could be wrong.
Rogue Company is a free-to-play multiplayer hero shooter developed by First Watch Games and published by Hi-Rez. It was like bootleg, I guess yet another bootleg Overwatch. 'Cause there just weren't enough of those.
I mean, I guess fucking Marvel Rivals proved there is still room to make money on a bootleg Overwatch.
Yeah.
You just have to be better than Overwatch, which, to be fair, is not a massively high bar these days.
Templar! Hello! Why are his lips not moving?
Don't worry about it. He's an excellent ventriloquist. Wait, is nobody's lips animating?
No, nobody's lips are animating. This
Okay.
is very weird.
Got some Oblivion going on over here.
I actually do like the weird lip syncing tech they've used for Oblivion. Also, I gotta admit, I was so focused on the fact that his mouth was not moving that I did not pay attention to a single thing that man said.
Kind of the same, except this is the man who sold Yasuke into slavery, and also he's a Templar.
Okay, like, he seemed like a dick, obviously, but I did not get the specifics of anything there.
You were focused on the important part.
Yes. Headbutt.
Curse the battle pass that put that weapon in your hands.
Oh, hey, people's lips are moving again.
Oh, good.
Also, we're now speaking maybe it's just because they were speaking Portuguese in that last cutscene, and now they're speaking Japanese. How about you stab the man?
まさにあの女と同じだ。
Is it time for a dramatic flashback? It is time for a dramatic flashback.
It's not. I regret to inform you.
It was a briefly dramatic flashback.
It was very brief. Also, hey, how about we stab this man?
You should really get around to stabbing that guy.
There you go. I feel like I did not take enough damage in that fight to spit blood at that man.
I also feel like it going black and white there was unnecessarily dramatic.
Eh.
That said, I'm kind of not a big fan of the whole thing in this game where whenever you use your abilities, everything goes black and white. Because it constantly makes me feel like I'm taking damage when it does that. Like, I associate the color dropping out with games that do that when your health is low.
What's a Templar? I thought there was going to be someone under that bridge with the way that camera was going. Is there another unknown? Oh. It said, like, Templar killed. But there's no circle for them, unfortunately. Wait, let's go talk to Luis Frois. I can't speak Portuguese.
I think it's just Frois.
Okay.
That's how it was pronounced back in Onimusha, at least.
That's good enough for me.
Everything I know about Luis Frois I learned from Onimusha. In which case I fully expect you to get there and he transforms into like a 20-foot tall fly monster.
Great. I love I've not seen The Fly since that stream where we discussed The Fly, but, you know, I love The Fly. I forget what giant bomb thing it was, but like whenever I hear Portuguese, I think of there's a video where Drew is talking about listening to someone's talk in Portuguese and how you basically the way you can tell you're listening to Portuguese is if it sounds like Russian Spanish. And then like to be honest, that anytime I've heard Portuguese, it's like, yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum. I guess this is the historical moment of, well, I met up with Yasuke again, and then he went off to do other things.
Met up with him, and he looked like he'd been doing a lot of side quests.
Much has happened since.
実のところ信長公が亡くなって以来我々の立場も危うくなったこの地の均衡が崩れ誰がどこから襲いかかってきてもおかし
Things have been trying, you know, in the like 5 days since Nobunaga died.
そういえば
The 5 or 6 days and like 8 seasonal changes.
忍びと侍の二人組が騒動を巻き起こしている
It is one of the moments where like I didn't think about it until you said that, and then I went, wait, you're right. This is extremely silly.
It's just a very odd decision of like the time period to set your game in, because it's explicitly a historically very short period of time.
It's so short a time that they invented a word to describe how short a time it was. Like,
like I really assumed they were going a different way with the story. Because the whole setup of like, oh yeah, Mitsuhide faked his death and disappeared and disguised himself as a monk and all this other shit was like, oh, that's like a perfect setup. Because you'd have to kill these dudes and work your way through his like circle of minions to find him for real. And it's like, oh, we're working in the shadows because everyone, you know, thinks that he died in 11 days, but really he was hidden. Or, no, they're just going with like, no, he's, I'm assuming, really going to die at the end of this quote-unquote 11-day period.
man, remember when Ezio punched the Pope?
Remember when he beat up the Pope and then was like, I'm not going to kill you, I'm better than that?
And then an alien
And then he
was...
left. And then the next game opened with the Pope burning down his home and like killing a bunch of people in retaliation. And then he was like, oh, I should have killed the Pope. Ezio's a dumbass. Always take revenge. That's the lesson, kids. He was a bad man. That dude sucked.
Yeah.
What happened to him? Do you have to ask? Realistically.
I also just like the
Oh, that just went into the exact same dialogue option.
yeah.
I just realized that.
It was both.
Yeah.
Also,
I like the bit of him being like, he was a bad man, and I ended his life, and then he goes, oh, was he someone you knew? And it's like, well, yeah, I just told you I killed the guy.
I liked picking the bad man option because it made me think of that one bit from True Lies, where Jamie Lee Curtis is asking Arnold Schwarzenegger if he's killed anyone, and he just goes, "Yes, but they were all bad."
Yeah, they were all bad guys. It's fine. I have a soft spot for True Lies. It's probably not that great of a movie in retrospect, but I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a soft spot for all of that era Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Have you ever seen Last Action Hero?
I have it on VHS. I've not seen it yet.
Okay. Oh, you should. I feel like you would like Last Action Hero. Last Action Hero is maybe my favorite comedic Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Also, because this suddenly became like the most interesting plot line, we're totally just gonna run through the Yasuke backstory, current story, as we go.
Checks out. Oh wait, also, I'll be back in a few minutes. It is dog sitting time.
Oh, go sit with that dog.
Gotta go take care of dogs. I'll be back.
Okay. Not there. You guys know anything about the Templars?
噂は耳にしたことがある。そやつに仕えとるのが熊部氏家という男だ。高野山の墓地で浪人を募っておるとか。いかなる男か。自ら戦には出向かず、それに駆り立てるのを好むものだとか。かような者の言葉は信用ならぬものだが、何かの糸口にはなろう。そうか、恩に着る。安家、気をつけよ。木村玄斎はこれまでにない類の兵を作るという話だ。ひとたび命じられれば躊躇なく襲いかかるという。それがしに襲いかかるならば大きく悔やむことになろう。
I am cooler than they are.
ここが高野山か。近くに墓地があるはずだ。玄斎を探すには兵を募る男を探すのが早道であろう。
墓地へ行ってみるか。
You could say that. Other side of the bridge. Go off-road. Abe Ujiie. Hello. Goes well. No. I'm just casual on YouTube. But I've been doing this for probably too long. Streaming on YouTube. Let's go with... When did I start? Honestly, like, probably, like, whenever YouTube streaming became a thing was when I basically switched to YouTube from streaming mostly on Twitch. I think I was in, it was sometime around, like, 2014 or 15. There's a lot of dudes here. Bear with me. Mostly just on YouTube. Every once in a while I will go on Twitch. But for full playthroughs, I like streaming on YouTube because it auto archives, and that's nice. Probably not, because I do not have the money to deal with that. But thank you for offering. Also, like, a slight level of professionalism more than I am interested in dealing with. Either way, the answer is still probably not. No problem. Good luck with your art. Okay. So there's still more people. These people continue to want it. That seems like that's enough. Asuke too big.
元帥がヌーのカロへ導いてくれるやもデュアルテと
Dogs
Welcome back.
sat.
Nice.
How's it going?
We killed the guy recruiting the people to go to the Templar training ground, and now we're going to the Templar training ground to kill the person training the Templars, I think.
So, is it required you do it in that order?
Probably not, but...
It's because I think it's extremely funny if you do that the other way around, where you go to the training ground, kill everyone there, and as you're doing it, like, more recruits are showing up, like, oh, jeez. Alternately, you wipe them all out, leave a bunch of dead bodies at the training ground, and then you go to kill the recruiter, and he's just sent off a batch of guys, and they're like, oh, let's go to this place where he said to go get training, and they get there, and it's just littered with corpses.
I don't know if you could, like, stumble into the training ground first. Like,
Okay.
the plot is definitely one and then the other, but...
Okay. Well, yeah, because this is, like, his backstory missions, right? So.
Yeah.
These are a little bit more linear. That said, I do still really like the idea of doing that in the opposite order, because I like the idea of a bunch of eager new recruits ready to become Templars showing up to the training ground and just finding just corpses as far as the eye can see. And it's like, maybe we signed up for the wrong side. We should reconsider. Just Skyrim your way up this mountain.
On it.
I don't think... Well, you may have caught on to something. I cannot tell what's happening.
I also couldn't, but it's working out.
All right. Speaking of Skyriming your way up a mountain, I could report in now that I've escaped the character creator, and say, man, that Oblivion remaster is very good.
Nice.
That Oblivion remaster is also just Oblivion.
I mean, I would
but
be
like
very
with the leveling fixed, which is the main thing.
So how explain how is the leveling fixed?
So in the old, do you remember how leveling worked in original Oblivion?
Yes, whereas like you couldn't run too far, or else the enemies would get way too hard because you ran too good.
No, so the way, well, I don't know if you know the specifics of why it was fucked up. Because there was a proper way to play Oblivion where you would level up and get strong and then defeat the enemies like normal, and the game worked as intended. But the game basically told you how to level up backwards. Because in original Oblivion, your major skills, when you leveled them up, would count as progress towards your next level. And I want to say every like 10 major skill level ups, you got a new level. But the actual stat gains you could give yourself on each level up were determined by how many of your minor and miscellaneous skills you leveled up in the interim. So when you make your class at the start of the game, it tells you pick your major skills as the ones you're going to use all the time. But that means you level up so fast that you don't have time to get good stat bonuses from all your other skills. So you'll level up to like level 10 really quickly, but you'll only get 1 or 2 points in your stats per level. And the enemies, meanwhile, are leveling up at like a fairly intermediate pace, which means they now outpace you by a dramatic amount in strength and power and everything else. So you quickly end up overpowered by the enemies due to leveling up too quickly. That was the original system. The new system is that you level up based on any skill. And the higher the skill level, the more it counts towards a level up. So all your major and minor skills will count more towards leveling up, so you level up faster when you increase them, that kind of thing. But everything counts towards a level, and when you... That dude just has a giant Templar logo on his chest.
Sure does.
But in the new Oblivion, when you level up, there is a default of like 12 points to dole out to your attributes as you see fit. So you don't get the fastest, because the most you could get in original Oblivion was 15 points per level to put into your stats. In new Oblivion, you get 12 every time. So you're not at like the maximum stat gain that you could get on Oblivion, but you are at a constant, slightly higher than average stat gain.
Okay.
And you don't have to min-max your levels or level up the right way, because you will always get that amount.
That does seem like a much better way to handle that.
It is much better. It is simpler. It just makes sure that you're not going to act... Well, you can still fuck yourself up if you put like every point into luck or something, obviously. But it is a lot harder to fuck yourself over. So yeah, new Oblivion is Oblivion, but the leveling is fixed. And I'm going to be honest, that's basically the only real problem Oblivion had.
Fair enough.
Also, there is $10 DLC for more horse armor.
Great.
But it also comes with actual armor and also quests for the armor. So, you know. And it comes with an art book and a soundtrack, so that's a thing too.
I'm glad the horse armor remains constant.
Yes. That said, the original horse armor is included by default. You do not have to pay extra for horse armor in this version, unless you would like to. That said, I would like... they didn't put this in because, you know, everything's pretty much the same as original Oblivion, but I wouldn't mind if there was like an NPC who puts armor on your horse complaining about like how this used to be more expensive and prestigious, and it's like, I'm practically giving this stuff away now.
That would be very funny.
That said, they did add more voice work to the game. Like they added more voice lines and stuff to basically put some more variety in, but they also kept all of the old voice lines, including a line from the original Oblivion where the character reads the line and then says, "Wait, let me try that again," and then does the line read a second time.
I was about to ask because like I'm pretty sure there is like that weird outtake voice
So
line.
they left that in, and also the lip syncing now works for that line as well.
Great.
So the character actually does like an aside and is like, "Wait, let me take that again," and then redoes the line.
That's very funny.
The Oblivion remaster is good, man.
Maybe I'll give it a shot. Where am I
It's
going?
not a bad time. That might be like a good, like, not like a, I'm going to stream this all the way through, but like every now and then check back in, see how this is going.
So
I feel like that is
confused.
an understated style of streaming and or like uploading videos for games. Is like, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but I am going to just do like regular check-ins.
Honestly, not a bad idea.
Because I mean, in most games, like even this one, you have things where it's like, okay, this is kind of an off-stream kind of activity.
Yeah. Oh my god, stop shooting me. Ow!
That man is angry. There we go.
This way. This is the way to go. Because there's so many more people. This is crazy for Assassin's Creed, but I kind of love that this is...
You mean like Yasuke just taking down a ton of dudes?
Yeah, and also just like the way that this level is set up, where it's just like... Oh, there's...
Jesus!
There's a lot of dudes. Also...
Nice achievement.
We're just gonna kick more people off this ledge, because that's fun.
Yeah. Did you ever upgrade your weapon, by the way?
No, but...
Okay.
It seems like it's working out decently.
Yeah.
At least for like the, you know, non-name.
I was wondering because of the extensive combos on these Portuguese sailors, and I was like, I feel like they should be dying faster, but maybe not.
So I think the Naginata is like it does the least damage out of Yasuke's weapons, but like,
it's his light weapon.
Yeah. But like its main thing is that it does a lot of big sweeps, so it hits multiple people at the same time.
Which you want when you're playing as him, because you're
Yes.
usually surrounded.
Which is why I've been sticking with it for the most part.
That makes sense. Also, Naginatas are just a cool weapon.
That's true.
I wish there was a Naginata style weapon in Monster Hunter, by the way.
Yeah. Because I mean,
So
like,
you've got lances and gun lances, which
Yeah.
are more traditional shield and spear combos. You've got like the insect glaive, which no.
Well, I was gonna say,
The
like,
insect glaive, I think, is the one weapon I've never even.
I tried it once in 4, and I was like, this is interesting.
Like, I heard about insect glaive, and I was like, that's a weird name, but holy shit, that weapon looks sick. And then I was like, oh, you have a bug on your arm? No thanks.
I thought this was...
That's it. It's that simple. I don't want a bug on my arm. I say this as a man whose favorite Digimon was Tintamon. And by extension, Kabuterimon and Kawagamon, who are, yes, giant bugs. That's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with Insect Glaive in Wilds.
Like, I've
It's
seen
not
people
quite
play
as
it. It
crazy
looks
as
cool.
Rise Insect Glaive, but I just keep going this way. That's where I go.
I was gonna say, you seem to have reached an impasse on this building. Yeah, I've tried a lot of the other weapons in Wilds. I tried Charge Blade and immediately found all of the contextual weapon transformation kind of annoying. Like, whenever I rebounded off of, like, a Gravios, the thing, like, the next attack switched me out of my being able to block mode, and I was like, I don't like that at all. I tried out Switch Axe very briefly. I still don't understand Switch Axe. Like, the last time I tried Switch Axe, I believe, was when it was added in Try, right?
Yes.
So, I like that you comboed that man, and then he was shot in the back by the guy behind him.
You know.
But yeah, I've tried the other weapons in the arena in that. By the way, gotta hit that arena. There's some really good rewards from that arena. If you want to dress your person up to look cool, you need those arena pieces.
I gotta get back to I have not played since the update, and also, yeah, after the stream, it's gonna be a little wild seeing. Train of thought. I forget if I mentioned this on stream or not, but I did have a fun moment playing with Mornfoistic there, where I was we were in a public lobby, and I was just kind of ambling around the base, and someone had gotten the Arshan armor, and they colored it red and gold like Iron Man. And so I was trying to get a picture of me with Iron Man, but I also forgot that I was in my layered armor that makes me look like Caitlyn from Arcane. And both of us were doing like the little tippy tap step around to try to get into photo mode with each other. So I feel like he was also like, oh hey, it's Caitlyn from Arcane, I want to take a picture. And I was like, oh hey, it's Iron Man, I want to take a picture.
It's Caitlyn from the hit Netflix show Arcane.
Yeah.
Based on nothing.
The sweet original show Arcane.
Have you heard the recent stuff like with 2XKO, the League fighting game, which also they decided to name 2XKO?
I heard that there's like all the characters are free in offline mode. That's the one thing I heard. But also there's like 7 characters or something.
It's the roster is 10 at launch. Which isn't as bad as 7, but is also not good for a tag game.
I forgot it
then
was
again,
a tag
I will
game.
point out that Skullgirls had a very small roster, and it was an up to 3-person tag game, and was extremely good.
How,
That said, I did see there was like a tournament grand finals for that 2XKO thing in like the, this kind of like testing period, and the grand finals was 53 minutes long.
Jesus.
Because almost every single match went to a
Whoa!
timeout.
What happened?
You blew up.
I exploded.
Someone threw a grenade, I think, is what happened there. It did not seem like a super impactful grenade, but it did a lot of damage.
Let's try that again. I mean, Cross Tag at launch didn't have a whole lot of characters, right?
Yeah. I don't know, I guess my thing is that for a League of Legends based game, 10 characters is not a lot.
It's really not. Also, I'm gonna be honest, I think the only characters that I know are in there are, like, Jinx and Echo.
I'm gonna be honest, they probably should have just made it an arcane fighting game if they were gonna have that small of a cast. Like, if you're limited to 10 characters, it should have just been, like, Jinx, Vi, Jace, Victor, Caitlyn, fucking Singed, Warwick, whoever else, you know?
Put in Sevica
Mel,
in the fighting game,
Ambessa.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, and Sevica, yeah. There we go, I think we already hit 10, just from that, so, come on. Have a stage that is like Jinx's crazy birthday party thing with Silco tied up in a chair in the background.
Right.
This game makes itself. And more people would buy it because more people care about Arcane than League of Legends.
Fair. As someone who cares about Arcane and not League of Legends, yeah.
Oh, that said, did you see the trailer thing they put out for the next show they're doing?
I've seen a lot of things about, like, Noxus things, but I haven't, like, sat down
There was
and
like
watched
There was like... Oh, wait, no, it was a trailer, but it was also a music video. It was basically just... Or I think it was, yeah. It was basically just like, yo, here's... The next thing we're doing is probably just going to be these characters in Noxus, and also Mel will be there. because she's kind of the character we're following from this story to the next story. That said, like, setting-wise, Piltover was definitely the most interesting place they could have started.
Yeah.
Also, random fun fact that sadly they could not include in this game due to the time period they set it in. There was a dude whose name I cannot remember right now. I should probably look it up. There was basically a rival warlord that Nobunaga was dealing with at one point, who straight up, like, blew himself up whenever Nobunaga was going to, like, defeat him. He was like, what if I just blow up my castle? And it was apparently explicitly to deny Nobunaga a, like, precious tea set.
Yeah, the Warring States period is fucking insane.
Let me see. I know I can find him by doing this.
Is he in Pokemon Conquest?
I don't think so, but he is a boss in Neo.
Oh, he killed me. Okay. Let's try that again. There's a brief moment where I thought I was going to have to refight the 3 big dudes. But luckily, I didn't. I got my big sword. Oh god, that hurts. Big sword hurts. Oh, I broke his big sword.
Okay, yeah, the guy I was thinking of is Matsunaga Hisahide, who definitely committed suicide and destroyed his table so that Nobunaga could not get it. And then after, quote, after his whole suicide incident, while he was being besieged in his castle, he ordered his head destroyed to prevent it from becoming his trophy. So his son grabbed Hisahide's head and jumped off the castle wall with its sword through his throat.
Okay.
Brutal. Fucking brutal. But according to legend, he actually filled his prized teapot with gunpowder and then blew it up while holding it to commit suicide.
Sure.
The important thing is here that he is associated with explosions and really, really really did not like Nobunaga. In Neo, you actually have to collect all the broken pieces of that teapot and reassemble them because it has become possessed by a giant spider lady, and then you have to fight her as a boss. And she has like a sick-ass design because the shards of the teapot are like parts of her legs, and she uses them as a shield. It's fucking sick.
Neo is great.
Yeah, and then that dude, Teapot Explosion Man's ghost, becomes like a helper because he's like, yeah, fuck Nobunaga, basically.
My grudge with Nobunaga goes beyond the grave.
You can also fight him as an optional boss, and his first move every time is running forward, grabbing you, and then blowing himself up. It's very annoying. Because sometimes you forget, and then he gets you with it, and it's like, ah, shit.
I don't want your stinky armor. I like that. Liners. Oh, oh no! It's some more circles of dudes. Complete the temple. Okay, but that is, I think, all I can do there for now. That's about 2 hours. That's gonna do it for, I think, this stream.
Okay.
I feel like I've. Okay, there's probably, just based on like symmetry, I'm gonna guess there's one more circle of dudes, like, at least. Join us next time. I guess we will. Next time,
Continue.
yeah, we will continue next time, which will be Monday. There may
How
not be
many main dudes are left?
5, counting Mitsuhide.
Okay.
So we have the Wise, the Ox, the Noble, and the Horseman, and
Okay.
Mitsuhide. There may or may not be a stream on Tuesday because that's the day of medicine infusions, and I always feel a little weird after that because tiring. But Monday, join us next time. We'll fight some more dudes.
All right.
People need to get stabbed in the face and or neck. See you guys next time.
Right.
Good night, everybody.
Next time.
The end stream.